May 26, 2010 meeting of the Transportation Committee will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Cassetti?
Here.
Mr. Colby is excused. Mr. Daniele? Here. Mr. Esposito? Mr. Gamble? Here. Mr. Howland? Here. Mr. Lee is excused. Mr. Monero? Here. Mr. Rocco? Here.
I will leave the meeting open for the remainder of the day for Legislator Esposito. Is there anyone signed up for the public forum?
I don't believe so.
Is there anyone present who's not signed up who would like to address the committee at this time? The next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. You have the April 28, 2010 minutes of the Transportation Committee before you. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of the day. At this time, Paul Johnson, Associate Planner of the Planning and Development Department, will now give a brief overview of the 2011 through 2016 Capital Improvement Program as it pertains to the Transportation Committee. Mr. Johnson?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Everyone should have a copy of the County Executive's proposed program. This has been reviewed and recommended by the Monroe County Planning Board, and they conducted 3 public information meetings as part of their review process in order to get public comment and input on this program. Under the charter, the legislature is required to hold a public hearing. Hopefully you will set that at your June meeting and then conduct the hearing and adopt this program in July. Just 2 kind of quick overview items about this capital program. We made a concerted effort to reduce funding from every funding source throughout the 6 years of this program. We also tried to set some stable funding levels over the 6 years so in order to reduce some of the spikes that we've encountered in previous capital programs. The 1 or 2 sections that I would like to summarize very briefly for you include the Highways and Bridges section, which is on page 49. The funding for a number of the projects has been modified from last year's program because of revised estimates as well as some updated figures that have been obtained from the Genesee Transportation Council through their Transportation Improvement Program, which is the source for the federally and state assisted projects in our CIP. Scheduling for a number of the highway projects has been moved out 1 or 2 years. Those would include Portland Avenue, Erie Station Road, Phillips Road, Whitney Road, and Goodman Street. Likewise, scheduling for a number of bridge projects have moved out a couple of years, including the Twin Bridge Road Bridge, the Park Road Bridge, Moscow Road Bridge, and the North Hamlin Road Bridge. And I have one correction to the table on page 50. About halfway down, you'll see the project Burnt Mill Road Bridge. That should read over Black Creek and not Allen Creek as it's written. The project description, which is on page 54, is correct, however, so we'll be making that correction in the final program. There are 3 new projects, all of them appearing in the year 2016. Coldwater Road over Little Black Creek, the Bridge Preventive Maintenance Project, and the Rustic Railing Replacement Project. And the city street projects, which we fund eligible city arterials, have stayed pretty much the same for the first 3 years. We did make some reductions in funding in 2014 and 2015 from last year's program levels. And the second program area I would bring to your attention would be the traffic engineering section on page 60. The project categories that you see here have appeared in previous capital programs. There have been reductions in spending in each of the years of at least 5 of the 6 years of the program, and overall there was a 16% reduction in traffic engineering expenses from last year's program. And that concludes my presentation, Mr. Chairman. I'd be happy to take questions.
I'll now open up to committee members. Any questions they may have or any discussion they would like to discuss regarding the CIP? Legislator Gamble.
Thank you. Through the chair, how much is planned to be spent on the streets and highway project within the city limits for 2011?
Do you have that summary? Through you, Mr. Chair, for 2011 for city street projects, we're going to be spending $980,000.
And through the chair, how much for the entire 6-year period of the current proposed CIP?
Through you, the proposal you're looking at today?
Yeah.
Through you, Mr. Chair, about just short of $6.5 million.
Thank you very much.
Legislator Monero, you have a question? Yes. Legislator Monero.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you, I'm wondering, there are a couple of projects that were included in the previous CIP and titled the North Greece Road Bridge and the Preventative Maintenance Highways projects. Have they been removed, or do we have a status update on those two projects?
Through
They're
you,
not
Mr.
included in the current, sorry.
Right, through you, Mr. Chair, I'm sorry. Through you, Mr. Chair, North Greece Road, the construction dollars for that as well as for the highway maintenance shows up in the 2010 budget, so it's in the capital budget for this year. So
Okay,
that's
so-
why it wouldn't show up in 2011.
So they've been completed?
I didn't say that. North Greece Road, this body, I believe, the last time approved the request to advertise a few months ago. That project should be going under construction August timeframe, September this year. The Highway Preventive Maintenance Project will be going out to bid later this year. It's going to be split up into two periods, but that's because of federal money. But there's two different projects, but part of it will be going out to construction later this year.
Okay, and through you just said that there's a tie-up with some federal funding?
Well, through you, Mr. Chair, so much of a tie-up is that the amount of federal funding decreased as well as project costs increased, so that's why some of the bridge projects as well as the highway projects slipped in years, and we had to find a home for them where we had enough money, both on the region-wide funding standpoint as well as the county funding standpoint.
Okay, through you, and so I'm just so I'm clear on this. There's no plan in future years to allocate anything towards these projects.
Through you, Mr. Chair, for those two projects, that is correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions or further discussion? Thank you, Mr. Johnson. The next item on the agenda is new business. Madam Clerk.
Referral 10-152.
Moved by legislator Daniele, seconded by legislator Rockow. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carried. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Referral 10-173.
Moved by legislator Rockow, seconded by legislator Howland. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carried. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Referral 10-174.
Moved by legislator Howland, seconded by legislator Daniele. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carried. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Referral 10-175.
Moved by legislator Daniele, seconded by legislator Rockow. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carried. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Referral 10-176.
Moved by legislator Rockow, seconded by legislator Howland. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carried. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Referral 10-177.
Moved by legislator Howland, seconded by legislator Daniele. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carried. Are there any other matters to come before this committee? There being no further business, the May 26th, 2010 meeting of the Transportation Committee is going to remain open, and the next meeting is scheduled for June 30th at 5:30 p.m. Thank you very much.